Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be setting up my bullet journal for the month of October, and I'm really excited about this month's bullet journal theme. But first, let's do a quick flip through of my September setup. So I really enjoyed my September setup. The theme for the month of September was a theme park in the skies, and it was just a really dreamy theme, which I really enjoyed. And I really loved the weekly setups as well for the month of September. I absolutely enjoyed coming up with them, especially since I didn't really have the pressure of filming and setting up my weekly spreads, so I really just enjoyed having that time to myself to just set those up. Another thing is that I also bought an Insta film printer, so it kind of prints out all the Polaroids, which is why you can see I was starting to paste more Polaroids on my weekly setups, and I just think it really does help to give a different kind of look to my weekly setups. But now on to the month of October, and can I just say how quickly the months are going by. It just seemed like I set up my September spreads not too long ago, and now it's time for another monthly setup, and I'm just really wondering where all the months and days are going by. And 2021 is coming to an end soon. It's soon going to be 2022, and that just seems crazy to me. But anyway, I digress. So moving on back to the theme. My theme for the month of October is kind of dreamy as well, kind of like the September theme in a way, in a sense that it's kind of like fantasy and just whimsical, I guess, in nature. It's going to be about like a website theme, and this is certainly not something new. I've seen it in a lot of places, but I just kind of wanted to incorporate some dreamy elements into it, kind of like incorporating nature and different elements into a website. And so for my theme page, I'm going to be painting a waterfall as well coming out from the website, which I think turned out really nice. And yeah, that's what I'm trying to incorporate throughout my entire October setup, something whimsical and dreamy and things like that. And I've actually been thinking about having this theme for a very long time, but I just never got around to doing it, mostly because I just think that I don't have enough time to kind of do all of the paintings for all of my setups. I guess also because I'm a little bit scared that it will turn out much nicer in my head than it does on paper. I'm just kind of scared that I wouldn't be able to do it well enough. But anyway, I just decided to stick to a very pastel and light colors for the month of October, just to keep everything on the same whimsical note. So as you can tell from my waterfall, I'm just using a really nice bluish green color, and I think it turned out really nice. I think it looks super cute, and yeah, I just really like it. Going back to my waterfall again, just to add a little bit of white and darker shades of blue to my waterfall to just give that little bit of contrast to it, and I think it turned out really quite nice. Of course, I am not planning to make it look realistic, so I wasn't really working too hard on it to make it as realistic as possible, but to just give the idea of a waterfall. So of course I decided to paint some plants on the right side, because I just think everything looks better once you add plants in. I don't know, so that's what I'm doing. And because it's just a single shade of green, it looks a little bit boring so I decided to add a little bit of darker green just to give that little added dimension to it. I'm just writing out the words October on the top of the website. And then just because I felt that the cover page kind of looked a little bit too plain, I decided to add a few more things at the bottom section of the page, because that's where I felt was a little bit too blank for my liking. So I added a few desktop folders to the bottom of the page, and it just says joy and peace, which are two things that I really want to have in the month of October, just to be able to have joy in the everyday simple things, and also to be able to have peace as well. I think these are just what I really kind of want to strive for in the month of October, for lack of a better word. So just because I felt it was plain again, I decided to kind of even out the green on the right hand side of the page by painting some plants on the left hand side of the page as well, to kind of balance balance out the green and the colors. So after that is finally done, I am moving on to my calendar setup, and once again I actually decided to kind of keep my calendar spread to one page this time around as usual, same as my September calendar spread last month, just because I don't really use my calendar spread all too much, but I still want to have a calendar spread there just to be able to see what I have going on at a glance. So even though I don't use it all that much, I still need my calendar spread. For now, I'm working on the left hand side because I don't want it to be a blank page. I'm just kind of doing a little painting there as well. And once again, I'm going to be painting the sea, kind of going off on a tangent about waterfall and just, water bodies, and decided that I had to draw the sea. So I'm just really using varying shades of blues, same as my water, kind of randomly painting them around just to give a little bit of depth to it. But of course, once again, I'm not thinking too much about it, so I'm just randomly scribbling varying shades of blue on it as well, and kind of making some waves as well. And this is actually really simple to do. So all I did was paint the part that the wave is over a little bit darker, and then the wave itself I painted with almost entirely white gouache paint. Honestly, a lot of these inspirations I got from artbyng.jpg on Instagram. Honestly, her work is amazing, and she usually draws all these really cute drawings of websites and all this kind of whimsical drawings as well, so I really drew a lot of inspiration from her as well. At the bottom, I just wanted to write a little message of hope, if you will, and it just says endless possibilities. And at first I wanted to write it out with my acrylographs, but I'm not sure if it was because I used gouache paint, but my acrylograph just wasn't really transferring onto the gouache paint, so I had to kind of letter it out with my watercolor paint. So that's why, as you can tell, my letters turned out a little bit wonky, but you know what, that's fine. So now finally moving on to the right hand side of the calendar spread, I'm just doing a website page once again, and at the bottom I kind of wanted to, instead of writing like dates, I wanted to kind of make it seem like it was a Google search at the bottom. So I'm gonna write things going on, sticking some washi tape, and I am using the washi tape from the Notebook Therapy. So moving on to my habit and my book trackers. For my habit tracker, I'm just using different website desktop folder icons, and I'm just wanting to make it seem like my desktop is really messy, so that's why they're all kind of overlaying on top of each other. And then I'm just drawing out my little trackers inside the folders themselves. And then of course I am labeling my desktop folders with the habit that I'm trying to keep to this month. And once again, I'm using my watercolors instead because I just want the fine liners to show through. I just felt that with just 6 habits, the entire page seemed a little empty, so that's why I'm just drawing in blank desktop folders as well, just to make the page seem a little fuller. And now on the right side is my mood tracker, and I must say that I'm really excited about how this mood tracker turned out. I think it just looked really cute and kind of like my calendar spread as well. But this time around, I'm just adding a little kind of checkbox on the top right. So the blue on the rightmost is the color that I will use when I'm the happiest, and on the left is the color that I will use when I'm the saddest. And these are just my Crayola super tips, nothing too special about it. And of course, I'll just color in the box that day with the color that represents the mood I'm feeling that day, if that makes sense. At the top of my website, I decided to ask another question, which is, how do you feel today? You know, that's kind of like the label for the website. And then because everything just seemed a little empty once again, I'm just using my washi tape to kind of add a little bit more to my habit and my mood tracker. Once again, all these washi tapes are all from the Notebook Therapy except for my Greed washi tape. So now moving on to my 1 line a day spread. This is a more simple spread that I'm doing, so that's why I'm not using any paints or anything like that. I'm just using my acrylograph pens, and I would say that the acrylograph pens are something that I'm fast becoming super reliant on in all of my setups, because it just seemed like it looks so finished and it just makes the spreads look so good, like a lot of effort has been placed into it and it just seems very refined, if that's the right word for it. But yeah, I'm just trying out a little folder, and it's kind of like a desktop folder once again, but this time around it's open, and I wanted to give the idea of a sky, which is of course the vertical portion of my folder, and kind of overlooking water, which is the bottom half of the folder that is laid open. It is inspired once again by Art by NG, so she probably has similar drawings to the one that I'm doing right now, so nothing too original, I guess, just getting a lot of inspiration from her in my October setup. I just want to kind of create some visual interest, so I'm just using various shades of green, which are all from my acrylograph pen collection, to just color out the plants, and then I'm just coloring in my clouds as well. Once again, I'm doing something that I've been doing since July. All I'm doing is highlighting the alternate dates just so that I will be able to keep track of which line I'm supposed to write on. And because I kind of wanted to make sure that the attention is solely focused on the drawing in the middle of the page, I wanted to highlight it in as light a color as possible. And now moving on to my fave log. So for my fave log, I'm doing multiple websites again, but this time around, kind of like when you have many different tabs open up and they're all just really messy and overlapping on each other. That was kind of the idea that I wanted to recreate here. So on the border, I'm gonna just write fave log. Apparently I stopped recording halfway through my fave log setup, so this is just how it looks like, and I decided to just use a little bit of washi tape as well, just giving a little space left for my fave log just to write in there. And honestly, I think this amount of space is okay for me because I don't really write too much in my fave log to be able to fill up the entire page. So anyway, now to our final setup. I am just drawing desktop folders once again. Each desktop folder will be for each day of the week, and as you can tell, there's a lot of empty spaces all throughout the page, so I really kind of wanted to fill those out because I don't know, otherwise it was just a little bit empty and sad, so I just wanted to add a little bit more. So for the top part of the page, I am just writing a little website and then it just is throw kindness like confetti. And of course, because I don't want everything to just remain white, I'm just using my watercolors again to just color in the folders. For my open desktop folders on the left hand side, what I'm gonna do is to just use my acrylographs to just kind of color in the same idea as my one liner day spread, coloring in some clouds, and this time around I decided to add a little rainbow as well. And then at the bottom I'm just drawing two websites that are kind of overlapping each other and related to each other as well. So on the back website it is the scene of a night sky, and then on the front one, which is on the foreground, it is kind of some hills and mountain ranges. And then I just decided to label the two websites as yesterday and today, and just kind of linking them all up by saying better days are coming. So I think that looks really nice and just a really nice reminder for me to look at every day as I'm using my bullet journal. So afterwards, just to bring some completion to my first weekly setup, I'm just using some washi tape and just sticking them around in the empty spaces just to fill those spaces up. Here's just a quick flip through of my entire October setup. I really loved how this setup turned out, and I really loved my boot tracker. A lot of colors have been used for the month of October, but you know what? I'm actually okay with that. I hope that you guys like this video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!